A stroll through the city was the cure for some homesick feelings. You wondered how long you had been walking now that the sky was turning a tiny shade of orange that cascaded over the buildings. A sigh escaped your lips, contemplating on your options to trek back home or to wander a little with some sightseeing spots until you realized where you were. The streets were quiet, with the sound of cicadas chirping every now and then to break it. However, the tall gates of the city's cemetery loomed above, overshadowing and cutting the colors of the sky with stark, rigid lines. You've never stepped foot into this place. You had no reason to. That was until you spotted somebody inside, tending to one of the gravestones. She looked awfully familiar with her long brown locks gently catching in the summer breeze, until she turned to you by the gates. Toru Honda noticed that you had stood there staring at her from afar, her large eyes staring back at you from the gravestone she was cleaning. Your heart skipped a beat, your eyes darting around to rid yourself from the slight embarrassment of being caught staring.
Huh. Hi!
She called out with a wave, her hands in the air, her smile bright. You only managed to wave back. She waved her hands, inviting you to come in before she tended back to the gravestone, cleaning its surface. A little unnerved, you rolled your shoulders to rid yourself of the embarrassment before you entered the cemetery. You wondered why Toru, of all people, was here. You had only met her a few times this year, mainly because of a certain family you had the unfortunate circumstance to learn their secret. The more you thought about it, the more you wondered how many other strangers had learned and suffered from their secret. Watching Toru ahead made you question this further. How many like her were spared?
Sorry to ask, can you help me out?
She asked as soon as you were within earshot of her voice.
I've been here for a while, and I want to be sure everything is set.
Oh, sure.
What do you need?
You replied, dropping your bag to the side and kneeling beside her.
Could you please prepare the flowers? I forgot to trim them earlier.
You immediately set to work, collecting Toru's bouquet before noticing the flowers themselves. They were all red spider lilies, an unorthodox flower for offerings, but also not the cheapest to find either. You questioned the choice, but continued to silently trim them to sit in the vases that sat by the stones. You observed Toru's expression, her face calm and smile gentle. While she cleaned the gravestone, she did it with care, one that you had not witnessed in a long time. Yet her eyes were sad, sullen, and almost bittersweet while they were witness to her actions. You kept silent for the rest of the preparations, keeping your thoughts in your head while you completed your task.
Thanks,
cheerfully spoke Toru. She turned to grab a large package, opening its cloth-bound seal to find an assortment of fruits and bowls to prep for offerings. You stared at the assortment, soon spotting rice balls amongst the mix, a strange accompaniment to the rest of the choices.
Ready?
She chirped, her smile on you.
Ready for what?
You questioned with concern.
Setting up. Can you help me out with the fruits basket? But what do we do with the rice bowls? They're a part of it.
Huh? All you were met with was her brilliant smile before she began to arrange the fruits and bowls together. You continued to help out, being directed by Toru where each assortment should be, leaving the rice balls last to sit amongst the fruits basket. The presentation was a sight to behold, sitting atop the gravestone now cleaned from the elements. The red spider lilies sat on both sides of the gravestone, framing the scene, while Toru lit incense to place in the holder. The both of you knelt by the gravestone, silent now that the offerings were prepared. During this time you had not bothered to turn your gaze onto the stone, let alone read who it belonged to. You focused more so on the task, observing Toru and her mannerisms. She still smiled, still content. However, that sadness cut through every once in a while. She turned to smile at you briefly before her eyes looked to the tall stone before her.
Hi, Mom.
She began, immediately seizing your heart.
Sorry I haven't been visiting for a while. Last year of school and all. And I'm doing my best like he told me to. I've made great friends over these years, and I want to thank you for helping me find them. This is one of them here.
Your eyes drifted onto hers, spotting her smiling before she returned back to the stone. You too turned to the gravestone, finally reading upon its stone surface the name engraved into it.
Thank you for helping me find Kyo, Yuki, Momiji, and everyone,
continued Toru.
They helped me put this together so I can come see you. I know you don't care much for gifts, but they wanted to provide the best things for you. Kyo says hi as well. He'll be coming to walk with me home, so I'm not alone.
Her words droned in your ear, but you heard every single one, reading the name Kyoko Honda on the gravestone. Those moments you've spent with Toru was nothing short of a sweet gesture. You had learned she had a heart of gold, and along with that, she oft-times spoke of her mother extremely dearly. The sentiment and love she held pervaded into your own, reflecting on your own homesick emotions, knowing what may come, or what could be.
But everyone wanted to extend a happy Mother's Day to you, Mom,
continued Toru, her smile bittersweet.
Thank you so much for always being there for me.
She bowed her head at the gravestone, turning to you before she noticed your face. Tears streamed from your eyes, yet you only stared ahead, as if you stared through it. You were silent, with nothing to say, speechless while your emotions overwhelmed you.
Oh my goodness! Are you okay?
Fretted Toru, her hand atop yours that pulled you out from your trance. You then felt those tears in your eyes, streaming down your cheeks, tenderly reaching for them with your fingers. Shocked by your sudden reaction to Toru's prayer, you quickly wiped your tears, ridding them from your face.
Oh, yeah. I'm fine.
You quickly spoke through the stuffiness that quickly filled your throat.
I just felt a little homesick.
Toru continued to fret over your state before you smiled back, still wiping your tears.
I'm so sorry. No. Don't be.
You reassured her, now with slightly sore eyes.
You just helped me understand what I've been feeling. Thanks.
Toru watched your reaction, calming a little from your impromptu tear fest.
You don't live with your parents?
She asked, wondering where the source of your sadness sprang from.
I guess you could say that.
You replied.
I've been living alone for school, and it's been a while since I spoke to someone to check in with them.
That was a half-truth, but with every opportunity you had to reveal part of it, It had relentlessly been hidden under lock and key by your own choosing.
I totally forgot it was Mother's Day today.
You bowed towards the gravestone, your smile sad while you held back any tears that would threaten to spill.
It's nice to meet you, Mrs. Honda. Toru has been treating me well, and no matter what we're talking about, she always mentions you. You're still alive in her heart, and it shows you've raised a beautiful person. Happy Mother's Day.
You glanced at Toru, smiling at her while you found her content and touched by your words.
So, are you going to explain the rice bowls?
You asked, to keep your sadness at bay.
Hey, Toru!
Called a voice from the gates, interrupting your thoughts. Both Toru and yourself perked your attention towards the gates, spotting a familiar orange-haired boy leaning by the stark pillars. Kyo eyed you from afar, now a little taken back of your presence by the gravestones before you helped Toru clean up, walking together with her towards the entrance.
What are you doing here, Chuckles?
Asked Kyo, still suspicious.
I was invited, I guess.
You replied, glancing at Toru, who smiled at you.
I wanted them to meet Mom.
She reaffirmed. Kyo heavily sighed, turning his back on the both of you before he started to make the trek away from the cemetery gates.
Come on then. It's getting late.
He remarked.
Would you like to come over for dinner?
Asked Toru out of the blue, halting Kyo in his tracks upon hearing the invitation. You stared at Toru, her hands in yours, while her smile brimmed brightly.
Dinner? Me?
You asked, surprised.
Yeah, I bought more than I thought I should have today, so it'd be great to have you with us to enjoy the evening.
For the year spending your time alone in the city, this was unexpected. You had your goals to meet, and your instructions in your head. Yet your heart was humbled to be asked of your company from someone you had only met once or twice before.
So you want in or not?
Asked a gruff voice from afar, turning to Kyo. He stood there, waiting for you to reply, more so waiting for Toru to receive your answer. The patience he had was insurmountable despite his attitude. It made you question to what degree his friendship with Toru ran, how deep it was. You clutched onto Toru's small and soft hands, smiling before your eyes pricked again with tears, wiping them away quickly.
Yeah, I'd love that.
You softly replied, receiving a bright smile from Toru before she grabbed hold of your hand and led you with Kyo through the city.
It's a bit of a walk, so I hope it's not far from where you live.
She motioned.
If it is, we can set a room for you at ours.
Continued Kyo, his eyes away from you.
Oh, I don't want to intrude.
We're not going to let you walk alone at night. Got it?
You were surprised by Kyo's offer while walking alongside them, soon listening to the conversation Toru and he shared together. Your thoughts returned again, feeling a warmth consume your heart with this feeling of happiness. It was strong, overwhelming, and it touched your sense of reason. It fluttered around like butterflies, not from nerves, but from the warm sensation that refused to be contained. This was what home felt like. Thank you for tuning in to another fanfiction reading. If you enjoy what I do or would just prefer to fall asleep to my voice, please hit that like button, ring that bell, and subscribe to my channel. It has been so long since I've touched on Fruits Basket, and I have actually mentioned a few times before that it is one of my most dearly beloved anime favorites of all time. So having to return to that and write something for Mother's Day with Toru really made me feel so good inside. I would say that. I just love the anime to death. I just hope that I'm able to complete a passion project of mine, which will include all the I guess family members, the Sohma family members that are, I guess, afflicted with the curse, and it's just going to be a really big project that I'm going to be absolutely ecstatic to finish once I do. So keep an ear out for that for any Fruits Basket fans out there, I suppose. Anyhow, I hope to wish all mothers a good Mother's Day, and extend all of that in whatever I do for this channel. But thank you for visiting. I hope to hear from you soon, next we meet.